Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at 10 Dominica Drive, New Kingston. This is the finals for the Spring Challenge. We have two first-time finalists since the competition started. We have Francis Grizzle. Francis Grizzle participated in the second leg of this competition. His favorite game is 8 ball. However, unfortunate for him tonight, the challenge is 9 ball. It's a race to 11. He has quite a few accolades to his name, being placed first place, well, 3 first place, and he came third at Mystics. His opponent tonight is Stephen McKinley, and Stephen is one of the newly prolific pool players in the island, with quite a few accolades to his name. Stephen have been making tremendous waves across the island in recent times in terms of his achievements in the pool scene. He's 31 years of age. His favorite game is also 8 ball. So let's see how both players fare tonight on the table in a game of 9 ball. It's a race to 11. And Grizzle won the lag earlier, and he will break the first game. So we have a ball down. Sorry, it's a dry break, so Steven will be coming to the table. So Steven opted for a push out. Given the location of the cue ball, Grizzle quickly told him that he is not in favor of that push out, so he should go ahead and continue to shoot. You can see that it was definitely not a good push out. Now Steven is pretty puzzled as to how he will get himself out of this one. He's definitely not wanting to let up on this one. So he will be kicking to touch the one, which he does quite well. So Grizzle playing that combination there. It's pretty much automatic. Unfortunate for him, the cue ball ran into 2, thereby not giving him a smooth shot at the one. I think Steven will be going for safety here, which he executes quite well. I think Grizzle can see the edge of the one, so he should have no issues avoiding the ball in here. And a perfectly played shot center pocket. Now he has one more problem ball, which is the 2 ball frozen to the rail. I'm not sure if it's visible to the audience, but 8 ball is also blocking that pocket there. So let's see how Grizzle plans to play this ball. He could drive the 2 ball into the rail, taking it off to pot the 8. I think he played it a little differently than I expected, but it worked out for him. He now has clear position on the 3, and I think this is a runnable table. Should be just connecting dots from here. Here at Dominica Drive, this is where Grizzle plays pool, so he's quite familiar with the table and how they roll. that was an unfortunate, unforced error there. So this is an easy run out for Steven. So Steven playing a very neat shot there, just going around the 6 ball. So he will just need to screw this ball back maybe about 6 inches. Perfectly played. He has the right angle to just go down table to get perfect position straight in on the 9. And Steven will be drawing first blood here, barring any mistakes. So Steven has drawn first blood. So this tournament is sponsored by Spring. That's the water that's keeping both players hydrated at the moment.
Yo, dog, are you ready for your challenge?
Yeah, man. We are grab a spring first.
Yo, dog, are you ready for your challenge?
Yeah, man. We are grab a spring first.
The general look thirsty.
Right then, beg a spring.
The general look thirsty.
Right then, beg a spring. Spring rock is here.
Steven will be breaking the second game, or the second rack, that is. The game is being refereed by our capable Akin Peart, aka Short Boss. Very powerful break from Steven. He managed to get the 2 ball down, and he has visibility of the 1. Not necessarily an easy rack for Steven, but the fact that he's at the table and has visibility of the 1 is always welcomed. Perfectly played shot. He has a little bit more angle than he would have hoped for, because he will need to come across table for the 4, which should lead him to the 5 ball. So GRIZZLE will be accepting his chance at the table quite gladly. He will need to clear the 4. Fortunately for him, it looks as if he got snookered behind the 5. Let's see if there's any opportunity for him to touch the 4 ball. It looks as if he's playing a half masse shot. And I would say that he did very well there by avoiding the cue ball in hand. Steven attempted a safety shot, not very well executed. say that that's not necessarily what Grizzle would have hoped for, but safety does exist, which I think he will be going for. And that safety looks as if it's okay. If Stephen is able to see the 5, then he will be returning the favor by playing a safety as well. And unfortunate for Stephen, the cue ball scratched. Now Francis Grizzle will be awarded cue ball in hand. So given the angle that he's setting up there, I think he's planning to come in between the 7 and the 8 to be in perfect position on the 6. This is what I call perfect pool or perfect planning, perfect pattern planning. Very well played. So he has 2 options. He can go 2 rail to come center pocket for the 7, or he can use inside English, keep the cue ball close to play 7 ball down table. So let's see which he will do. And he opted for the easier way out. He played 2 rails to come middle table for the 7 ball. With this shot, Grizzle should be getting a perfect position on the 9 to secure his first rack. Very well executed there by Francis Grizzle. So this should be securing his first rack, and the score will now read 1 game apiece. And he executes perfectly. The score currently reads 1 game apiece. And just a quick reminder, we're sponsored by
Yo, dog, you ready for your challenge?
Yeah, man. We are grab a spring first.
The sea general look thirsty.
Bartender, beg a spring.
So we have our capable referee, Akin Pierce, doing his job there. He takes his jobs very seriously. Alright, so we can see Akin Pierce checking the rack there to ensure that the rack is as tight as possible. And Sir Francis Grizzle to break the 3rd rack. Francis Grizzle. So 5 ball went down. He has clear visibility of the one. He does have the opportunity of sliding the cue ball down table to gain position on the two. It's a bit of a tricky shot. A tremendous amount of inside English will need to be applied for the shot to be executed perfectly. I think he opted to go across rail to gain position. You can see he made the ball, which was difficult in itself. However, he did not gain the position he wanted on the two. Now he will be kicking out to avoid handing ball in to his opponent. So he did manage to avoid the ball in hand. Now Stephen is given an opportunity at the table with a clear shot at the two and an easy out for him to gain position on three and to continue running the game. So we see Steven getting himself ready there, getting himself locked in. So perfectly executed shot there. He now has a bit of a sticker shot on the 5. He miscued just now. Francis Grizzle has a very difficult shot. He will need to release the cue ball to go 2 rails, I would say. Okay, so he did apply some amount of inside English. And he has gotten position on the 6. I think there's probably a chance for him to play a carom shot to pocket the 9. This is not a call 9 competition. And he did make an attempt to carom the 9 in the pocket. It didn't work out quite as he would have hoped for. Now Steven is given an opportunity at the table. So let's see how well Steven plays this shot. And with this play, Steven will take the lead 2-1. And just a quick reminder, we have quite a few other sponsors. Just take time out to view our sponsors. That's PLT Pool Supplies, Peter, 2283 1189. We have Rapid Cash, H&M Couriers, for all your courier needs, hmcourier.com. Chalka's medals and trophies, all your medals and trophies for your competitions, located there in Crossroads. Our current venue, Rack 'em Up Sports Bar, Ambassador Sports Bar, located in Ligon in New Kingston. Sonia's Place, that's down there on 98 Walton Park Road. and Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill. This is endorsed by the PPJA, that's Pool Players Association of Jamaica. So now Steven will be breaking the fourth rack.
Okay, so this is Boyd Smith in the booth. For this one, Mr. Radical just went out to get something to eat. Haven't eaten from there. So he will be back shortly with some exciting commentary on this match. Now Steven has just broken. He has broken dry and GRIZZLE is called to the table. He has no open shot on the one. He has to either push, jump or kick at this ball. Let's see what he opts to do. As he takes his time, let us remind you that we are working with a 45-second shot clock with one extension of 15 seconds per rack. So as much as he's taking his time, he has to know exactly what he's doing. Additionally, after the break, they have a minute to scan that table. So he will push. Not sure if was a good idea because this can develop the 9 ball on a carom. One leading to the 5. And knowing Steve is one definitely will take this on. He going for the pot. So he went for the 1 ball, didn't make it but got lucky. So seems as if he can hardly see this one. Has to go rail first. Beautifully executed by GRIZZLE there. Landed perfectly on the 2. Oh, once this ball is deposited, he will gain perfect position on the 4, which is laying close to the pocket. And he missed more than half. That was an out shot by GRIZZLE, very uncharacteristic for these kind of players, and Steve would gladly take this. So he went for the safety behind the 5 and the 4. Seems as if it leaked. If not, this is touchable based on how it's queuing. Seems as if it has leaked. And leak indeed it did. No, the game is still intense. It's a race to 11. It is early in the game, and Steve will attempt his cut shot. So let's see if GRIZZLE will take advantage of this miss by Steven. Steven in Jamaica is known as the cutter man. He cut any ball from any angle, so that was really uncharacteristic for him to miss that cut shot, especially seeing that it was on the rail. Nice little force follow there by GRIZZLE. didn't get the cue ball quite where he wanted it. However, he have to try and see how best he can pocket this ball. Okay, so that was an intelligent shot. He played that 4 off the 6 in the side pocket. Very creative. And at this level, you have to be a creative player. Have to think outside the box. Which is why these class players are A class players. Whether it's minus, plus, or just the letter A. Definitely get the cue ball where he wanted it, but he has to deposit the 5 first. Seems as if this cue ball didn't want to stop. And what an unfortunate shot there by Steven. Not only hide himself but almost scratch the cue ball in the side pocket. And he wanted to crash into the 9 ball. Didn't. He missed the 7 ball completely, awarding GRIZZLE with cue ball in hand, and 3 balls out from here. I would say that it's an out. Shouldn't be any problem. 3 balls are close to each other. Stop shot, then a 2 rail shot, and that should be it. Stop shot. He can opt to go 2 rail or 1 rail. Basically his preference. I think he will go 1 rail. Let's see. So he went 1 rail. This the cue ball type of cue ball using is one of the more advanced cue ball using on the international scene now, and it's known as the Cyclops ball. This ball tends to travel faster than the regular balls. Beautifully pocketed there by GRIZZLE, and the score is now even. Both players seem to be playing fairly well. A bit nervous, yes, because it's early, but both are on the scoreboard, and that's the hardest thing to do in any first game or last game match. However, they start the race, and now it's just a matter of finishing the race comfortably. Now the referee just pointing out the score line and who to break. Very professional in his work, and he, like any one of us, takes the game seriously, and we love the way the sport is growing in Jamaica. There's a ball down. Not sure if he's seeing the one. If he can't see the one, then it's a push. If he can see it, it's probably a thin hit, so he would probably play a safety. Based on how he's looking, he's seeing it but not sure if it goes in the side. Let's see. And as was predicted, he played a safety. seems as if Stephen can see this edge and he will go for pucking. And indeed he could see the ball, so Stephen will try to extend his stay on the table. Beautiful shot, but unfortunately for him there, he tried to pull that 7 to get the 3. And he will go into the cushion, compress it, and back 2 rails to the 3. 1, 2 to the 3. Beautiful. Beautifully played. That's an experienced shot there by Steven. And GRIZZLE will go 2 rail thin, hit the 3, and go 2 rail up table, using the 7 to stop him. And he needs that ball to touch rail and bounce too soft. So a little bit of chess going on here. Steven won that battle just now, and he tries to play another safety, but unfortunately that safety leaked, and the reason for that is because the 4 was in a difficult position. Not sure what GRIZZLE wanted there. That was an obvious scratch. However, it could have been avoided by hitting thin. Apparently he caught that 3 ball a little bit too thick, and as a result of that he awarded Steven with a ball in hand. As a caliber player that Stevie is, he's expected to finish from this ball in hand. He will just go forward. Beautiful. And Stevens looking to extend his lead on the scoreboard after depositing this 7 and 9. There it is. Steven extending his lead. And let us just give you a look back on our title sponsor commercial, which is Spring.
Yo, dog, I'm ready for your challenge.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, grab a spring first.
Pool players, and they love it.
Let's see General look thirsty.
Alright, then, I beg your spring.
Yo, dog, I'm ready for your challenge.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, grab a spring first.
Going on for the sport at the moment. Steven has broken dry, and for some reason he is not getting the break from the table. So Grizzlies has an open shot at the one, not necessarily pocketing the one, but can play a safety. But I think he'll try to carom this 9 in the pocket, seeing that it is hanging. And that's exactly what he attempted. Wasn't a bad try there. Took a lot of experience to try that shot. And this might be an early finish, just might be. After pocketing this 1-8, he will gain position on the 1. What he will do from here is to try to get as straight as possible on the 2 to get the combination. And that's what he tried. Now, barring you, the 8, barring you, that 8 ball is not directly in the pocket. So to sink this 9 ball, he would have to hit it as accurately as possible, which is rail and ball at the same time. Didn't work out according to plan, but was not a bad try nevertheless. And I think this is it for me for now. I will be back. I will just invite Mr. Radical back in the booth, seeing that his belly is now full. He will give us some interesting commentary. Thank you.
Thank you again, dear Boyd Smith. Trust me, I haven't had anything to eat all day. That was a very refreshing meal, prepared none other than the venue that we're at. That's the Rack 'em Up Sports Bar and Grill. In the booth, I also have Spades, the winner of the $100,000 tournament recently, and he also went the very week after that and took $30,000 from those players over there in St. Mary's. So he's also in the booth with me. From time to time, he will be chiming in to give his expertise on the game that's currently being played.
Good night, everyone. This is Serena Roden, aka Space. Just tuning in to check in on the match, and currently the score is Stephen McKinley 3, Francis Grizzle 2. Currently now, Francis ended up on the wrong angle, I'd say, on the 4 ball, but there's nothing that he can't correct. Can do an easy 3 reel to get back the 5 in the corner pocket, which I think he's gonna do, unless he finds it suitable to play a safe. Let's see. He's warming up the stroke. And oh, he went 1 rail. So a fairly big shot. And then on an angle on the 5, which is fairly good. I think he's gonna cut this and go 1-2 rail back for the 6 into the corner pocket. Being that the angle is very steep here. Oh, he went yes. Whoa. He missed the shot, and Stephen McKinley to approach the table. Let's see what Stephen does here. Knowing Stephen, he'll probably go for the cut past the 9 ball, or he'll probably play a carom to sink the 9 in the corner pocket. Oh, and he did complete the cut. Oh, and the 9 ball played as an extra pocket right there, giving him the 6 ball on a fairly angle that he can hold for the 7. And Stephen started off a bit shaky, I'd say, but in the latter part he's finding his zone, he's relaxing, he's taking his time on every shot, and I think he should win this one with ease. His score should be 4-2 at the moment, and he's on the 9 ball. He seems composed and relaxed. He's going for the shot. And that's the end of rack 6, where it's 4-2. So far, Grizzle started off started off really well. He seems to be lapsing in the current moment, but hopefully he'll just shake that off and play like the Grizzle we know he is and can.
Yo, dog, and ready for your challenge?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, grab a spring first.
Messi General look thirsty.
Right hand, I beg a spring.
Spring lock it in.
So welcome back, folks. Let me just thank Spades for his insights and expertise there just now. So we have our capable referee, Akin Peart, ensuring that the balls are all tightly stuck to each other for this rack. He takes his job very seriously. You can see him decked out in his referee gears. So we're here at rack number 7, Francis Grizzle to break. Nine ball is definitely not his favorite game, but it's the game of pool. We all love pool. And we all are learning the various aspects of the game, so we embrace the different variations. So Grizzle with that very powerful break, he potted 3 balls on the break. He has visibility of the one, not necessarily what he would have hoped for, but he may just be banking this ball, which he did quite easily, effortlessly, if I may say so myself. Now, the 3 ball is in a precarious position. He may be going for his jump cue. So I think he will actually be going for a jump bank shot here, trying to bank that 3 ball in the side pocket, in the opposite side pocket. So he went for his jump cue. He should be banking in the opposite side pocket to maintain position on the floor. And very well executed. Very well executed, however, no justice was done there. He is left in an awkward position on the 4 ball. So let's see how well he will execute this shot. He seemed to be looking for the carom on the 9. And I would say that's a great vision in terms of making the best of a situation. Unfortunately for him, he missed the carom. Steven is called to the table. You can see that it's evident that GRIZZLE is not necessarily too happy with the position that he got on the 4 after such a tremendous effort to bank the 3 ball in the side pocket. Steven is glad for his call to the table, and he's basically making his presence felt. So Steven is now left with a steep cut on the 9, but should be easy enough for him. And unfortunately for him, he got a hung ball and conceded that game. It was a very easy shot, so he conceded that game. So GRIZZLE has gained 1 point up on Steven. Score now reads 4 games to 3. Alright, so I was just being humored here by a little joke from Francis Grizzle. He's definitely a great character of the game. A very cool person to play pool with. Never a dull moment with Sir Grizzle. Never a dull moment with Grizzle, I tell you. So we are here on the 8th rack. Stephen to break on the 8th rack. It looks to be a dry break. So Grizzle will be called to the table. So not an easy rack to run here. As a matter of fact, I'm not seeing a run out here. So safety is the best bet, which he executes quite well. However, there's an easy kick out, which Stephen will have no issues doing. And Stephen pretty much just placed the one ball right to where it was when the game initially started. Sir Francis Grizzle will probably be going for another safety. So he opted for a different angle or different viewpoint. I think he would have hoped for the one ball to go on the rail, being hidden by the 4 ball. So Stephen going after that one ball. It looks as if he fluked the one. So Stephen fluked the one in the lower corner pocket and quite lucky to gain perfect position on the 2 as well. There's a saying in Jamaica, what's yours is yours. And that's definitely showing out that this rack definitely belongs to Stephen. But it's not over until the 9 ball is legally pocketed. So let's see how the game pans out, because from time to time the game changes. And as so said, so done, the game changes. Grizzly is called to the table with an easy shot on the 4 and an elementary screw back 4 to 5. So Grizzly went 2 rails to come around 4 to 5, and in the booth we have none other than Goran Faulkner, popularly known as G-Unit, one of the most feared pool players on the island. His accolades stretches across a span of about 10 years. He has no regard for the caliber player that he's going up against. He displays nothing but fearlessness and drives fear into any opponent that he faces. Here we have none other than Goran Faulkner himself. G-Unit, welcome, sir.
Good night, Jamaica. Good night. Checking in, checking in. Yeah, this is the Spring Water Challenge. It is currently being held at Rock 'em Up Sports Bar that's in New Kingston on Dominica Drive. Yeah, and we currently have playing with us Stephen McKinley and Francis Grizzle, which is trailing by a game. It's actually 4-3 in favor of Stephen McKinley. Yes, and Grizzle has the ball in onto the table currently. I mean, Grizzle still seems to be a bit disoriented. He's not quite focused. But Radical, I need to explain to me what is exactly going on right now.
Right, so since the beginning of the game, both players started off a bit shaky. I think they're trying to find their rhythm. So we saw a few unforced errors there from Steven, and Grizzle just the same. Quite a few unforced errors, as we can see one just now. Grizzle landing on the wrong side of the 7 from a free shot. So quite a few of those shots have been taking place since we started. They're both trying to find their rhythm. can see, the competition was the play was just interrupted there by an enthusiast, a pool enthusiast. So what should happen here? The clock should be restarted from zero. And unfortunately, that brilliant shot was not rewarded with a position on the eight. G Unit, one of the better players at kicking. G Unit, what would be your approach to this shot?
Well, my master always said to me that the best technique is defensive. So at times in the game, you have to learn when to pull up, when to be offensive and when to be defensive.
So the game was interrupted just now by an onlooker who is just pretty much excited about the game, and that slingshots me into the major traction that's been going on in the pool scene in recent times. So G Unit, what's your take on what's been happening in the pool scene in recent times? There's major traction tournaments being held every other week, where there is invitation for international representation, and as we speak we have 3 players in Las Vegas representing us. We're in the Jamaica flag crowd. Beanie is doing very well as we speak. What's your take on the traction that's been going on in pool in recent times?
Well, I mean, it's good for the Jamaica Pool Federation. They're being exposed to pool worldwide. And I think that's a good thing because our team will be representing in Barbados, the Jamaica Pool team. And, that's a good thing for pool. Pool is looking great for the future.
Currently we're seeking to solidify the Jamaica Pool Players Association. That would be the governing body. What's your take on that, and do you see the possibility of expanding exponentially with the formation of the PPJA?
Yeah, most definitely. We just need sponsors. That is the major factor. We need as much sponsors as possible because this sport tends to be expensive, depends on the location and the quantity of players that are actually going to represent, you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. It costs money because most pool players, if not all, they have their day jobs, and to participate in a 2-day tournament will require most of them requesting leaves to actually participate in the tournament. So it definitely takes a lot of money to run, and not only that, to cover the expenses, because pool is being played at local bars. There are no dedicated pool halls in the island. So all pool areas at this point are profit-making areas, and money is the lifeblood of any business.
Most definitely.
It's definitely costs a lot of money to run. So with the formation of the Pool Players Association, it should give rise to opportunity to gain a lot of sponsorship, to house a lot of tournaments, and hone the skills, and then thereby extending to get more players representing Jamaica on the wider scene, on the international scene. So we see Steven attempting a safety shot there. It was poorly executed, and it's left GRIZZLE with a combination, 1-9 combination, which I think he will be going for.
Well, GRIZZLE is currently dead on with the 3 to 9 combination. Just hope he deposit his 9th ball for the game. And that was brilliantly executed.
Right, so center pocket. That shot was executed effortlessly. So, gentle people, we have an exciting match on our hand. This is no runaway train. Grizzly is ensuring that Steven does not get too far from him. So he's maintaining a close race with the intention of overtaking at some point in time. So both players have been playing pool for quite some time now. Right, so we can see Steven started playing the game. Steven started playing the game way back in 2007. That's roughly 11 years of gameplay for Steven. So we're looking at two experienced players. So Steven will be breaking rack number 10. So we've gone 10 racks. We've gone 9 racks already. So this is rack number 10, Steven to break. So Steven with his signature power break. Unfortunately, nothing on the break. And Sir Grizzle is called to disable. And I would say a perfectly played shot there to pocket the one ball. So I think Grizzle was attempting a safety play there. And it looks as if the 8 ball is slightly shadowing the 2 ball. If so, then it would have been a fairly good save. However, there may be a possibility of a carom shot for the 8. So let's see how Steven plays this one out. Okay, so it could definitely pass. It could pass. So that was a perfectly executed shot. He now has position on the 3. 3 does go by 4. So once he deposits this 3 ball, then it should be an easy run out for Steven. And it purely nudged the 4, thereby causing Steven to miss the shot. Now Francis Grizzly is called to the table. So Grizzly played a brilliant safety shot there. And Steven responded with one just the same. So Grizzly played a brilliant shot here to avoid the ball in hand, and also was rewarded with a safety play. So Stephen attempted a kick shot there, but he was not rewarded with any play there. So Grizzle is given cue ball in hand. So this is Grizzle's opportunity to even up the race at 5 games apiece. Alright, so Grizzle would have hoped for the cue ball to come out. He's probably about 2 inches short. Now he'll need to swing the cue ball or give a slow roll, sort of cheat the pocket there. Perfectly played. So that was a brilliantly played shot there by Francis Grizzle. He now has 3 balls left to even the score at 5 games apiece. Francis Grizzle is pretty much focusing, and that was an unforced error. That was very uncharacteristic of Francis Grizzle. He's furious with himself on that miss. That does not happen on a regular, if not at all. So Stephen will gladly take his turn at the table, and he will be seeking to extend his lead. So Stephen has extended his lead. The score now reads 6 games to 4. So just a quick reminder, this tournament is sponsored. We have quite a few sponsors for this tournament. So let's take a look at some of our sponsors. That's our title sponsor, Spring. Right, we have Harry OM Enterprise, that's on Orange Street in downtown Kingston, for all your household appliances, cookware and all those household items. We have PLC Pool Supplies, 283-1189, that's Peter, for all your pool gears, pool supplies, rapid through cash. We have H&M Couriers, all your courier services. Make your order online, ship it with H&M Couriers. Chalkers medals and trophies. They supplied the lovely trophy that the winner will be getting tonight. We are here at Rackham Sports Bar and Grill. Ambassador is also one of our locations. Sonia's Place, located down there at 98 Walton Park Road, and Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, also one of our venues. And this is a PPJA endorsed event. So now back to our game. The score now reads 6 games to 4 in favor of Stephen. We're now on to rack number 11. We have the capable referee checking to ensure that all the balls are tightly racked. He's taking his job very seriously. Grizzle to break for rack number 11. So that was a very powerful break. So Grizzle got 2 balls on the break. No, I think he just got 1 ball on the break. He does have visibility of the 1, which is always key. The 3 ball is a bit side, a bit too close to 8 for comfort. So I think he tried to put that 1 ball in the side pocket to go down table and up for the 3 in the corner pocket. Didn't quite work out how he would have hoped. So now Stephen is called to the table with a shot on the 1. He will need to keep the cue ball over to his side to get a play at the 3 ball if he wants a chance to continue his run at the table. Unfortunate for him, he missed and has now left the 1 ball close to the 9 ball. This is not a call 9 competition, so if he makes the 9 on a legal shot, that's counted as a victory for the shooter. So he went for the carom shot, but to no avail. Steven is called to the table. So Francis Grizzle did well there to avoid the ball in hand. And with that powerful play, it's very unbelievable that the 3 ball did not go in. So Grizzle will definitely be thanking Steven for giving him a turn at the table to continue. So he went down table for the 4. That shot was perfectly executed. He has angle, so he is able to maneuver the cue ball to get position on the 5. So very well played there by Sargazo. So all he needs to do is make this shot. He doesn't need to worry about the 8 ball that's currently frozen over there in what we call no man's land. So let's see how well he navigates his way through the rest of the rack. Position on the 7 should be fairly automatic. So he tried to come on the left side of the 7. I think the reason for that is he wanted to use the bottom rail to come up table for the 8. So he's now left with a steep cut on the 7. So he will need to put in a little work, a little extra effort to actually gain position on the 8. So let's see how well he executes here. And we saw his intention. He wanted to kick the 8. Unfortunately, he missed the 7, and Steven is called to the table. So Steven nudged the 7, tried to play a safety shot there, and pretty much just giving him distance. There's no real safety available there just now. He was just giving him distance on the 7. So now Grizzle is forced to bank the 7. And he missed the bank by a whisker, and Stephen is now granted the opportunity at the table to run the game. And I would say this is a perfectly played shot by Stephen. He now has the perfect position on the 8. He has the perfect angle to swing out the table to gain position on the 9. So this should put Stephen at 7 games to 4. So let's take a look at our sponsors while we have our referee racking up. Alright, so now we're at rack number 12. Stephen to break. So that was one of Stephen's signature power breaks. No reward there. It's a dry break. Grizzle is called to the table. He does have visibility of the 1, but no real option available. So let's see if he will throw a Hail Mary or try to play some Albert Einstein shots here. Oh, and he was not rewarded. Unfortunately, with that brilliant shot, he was not rewarded. He pretty much cleared the cluster, but still not a good shot on the 2. He does have a safety option, but let's see what he does. Oh, 2 did go by 7, so kudos to Grizzle for gaining perfect position on the 2. He now has a shot at the 3. No real good shot. He could come back for the 9 by just skimming the 3, taking the cue ball back into the 9, which he attempted. So unfortunately, the 9 did not drop there. It almost went in, but it pretty much bobbled at the pocket mouth. So Stephen missing that 3 ball there. Grizzle is now given an opportunity to run the game. The 5-ball is in a very sticky position. So let's see how well he navigates his way through this rock. So a decent screw back there for the 5. However, the 5 is in a very difficult spot. No pool player likes a ball to be situated in that area. The object ball specifically. So we hear that shout from Grizzle in terms of his discuss with himself missing that shot. And Steven went for the carom, and he did get the carom because Grizzle wanted that 5-ball nowhere near that area. Unfortunately, he went there. So now Steven has extended his lead even further by going 8 games. So Steven now leads 8 games to 4. Okay, so a player has requested a break, so we're taking a 5 minutes break. I think one player just went for a little nicotine break to gain some comfort. So sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have to offer. So we will be looping our title sponsor video while the break is.
Yo, dog, you ready for your challenge?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, grab a spring first.
The general look thirsty.
Bartender, beg a spring.
Yo, dog, you ready for your challenge?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, grab a spring first.
Yo, dog, you ready for your challenge?
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, grab a spring first.
The general look thirsty.
Bartender, beg a spring.
So welcome back. We're now back here. Just a reminder, the score is 8-4 in favor of Stephen McKinley. Grizzle to break. That was a very powerful break. The 9 ball for a moment looked as if it wanted to go in there, but unfortunately for Grizzle it didn't. But fortunately for Grizzle as well, he remains at the table and has clear visibility of the one. So I think he will be trying to cut the one in the side. And that was a perfectly executed shot. He now has clear sight on the 3. He now needs to come up table for 4. Should be relatively easy. Now good. So that was an unforced error there by Sir Francis Grizzle. Stephen will gladly take his turn at the table. I think he will be making an attempt to just run the game. It's all connecting the dots from here. There are really no problem balls. There's no play to develop. It's pretty much just connecting the dots. I think he will just be working with what the table has to offer. No forced play will be attempted. Pretty much stop shot. He should be able to go 2 rails or 3 rails around to come center table. Or he may just go 2 rails. Alright, so he did choose to go 3 rails around to center table. Perfect position on the 7. And this should take Stephen to 9 games. And that was a perfectly executed shot by Stephen. Now he has a clear shot on the 9 in the corner pocket to extend his lead by 5 games, taking him to 9 games to 4. So it's not over until the 9 ball is deposited legally, which it does. So now Stephen leads 9 games to 4. So while we prepare for our capable referee, let's pay homage to some of our sponsors. Very powerful break there by Stephen McKinley, but unfortunately he was not rewarded with a ball being pocketed. So Grizzle will be coming to the table and playing a safe shot. And that, I must say, was an amazing shot there by Stephen. He pretty much cut the one in the side from an angle that's not so easy. So as my dear friend G Unit likes to say, after a great shot, it's always followed by a poor shot. So Steven now has a very difficult shot on the two. I think he should be going for a safety. I think he actually went for the shot. I think he would have just worked with the position on the three and played a two-way shot, playing a carom, but he missed, and Grizzle is called for the shot on the two, which he executes well. Let's see how he will end up on the three. Well, he does have clear visibility of the three, which means he can do one of two things, either play safety or go for the bank. So I think he did go for the bank shot, banking the three ball up table. Now I think Steven has a clear chance here to run out, or will he be playing safety? So I think he went for the shot, he missed. A bit of cat and mouse game underway here. Steven is very eager to go on the hill, so trying to play a safety shot there, poorly executed. And Grizzle will be going for a two-way shot. He will be banking this and hiding the cue ball from the three in the event it does not go in. Or will he cut it? He went for the cut. Perfectly played, if I may say so myself. So now he's left with a relatively difficult cut shot on the four, and the reason for its difficulty, the cue ball is frozen to the rail, so not much opportunity to maneuver his play on the cue ball. But let me just remind you, both players are A classes, but Steve, Francis Grizzle, he's not been the recipient of much luck or much rose since the beginning of this tournament, or the beginning of this match, I may say. So unfortunately, he's a bit hidden from the five, it seems. So he kicked at the five. Sir Francis Grizzle kicking at the five, and he missed there just now. It's definitely not his night tonight. A lot of unforced errors we're witnessing here from Francis Grizzle, and Steven is pretty much just taking his time at the table to see how best he can seize his opportunities as he's presented with them. So this, I think, is a close shot. I'm not sure how close the six is to the seven. And I would say that's a perfectly executed shot. Pretty much just going two rails, I would say, or one rail. Sorry. Yeah, so I think he should have gone. He should have went for one reel just now, but he went for two reels. But it worked out nonetheless. This should be an easy out for Steven. So the cue ball got away from him. So let's see how well his cutting skills are. Because cue ball will. Cue, so Steven applying a little too much cut there, giving Grizzle a chance at the 9. It's a makeable shot, but there's some distance on it. So let's see how well it is executed. And I would say it's perfectly executed by Francis Grizzle. So he has clawed his way one game closer to Steven. The score now reads 9 games to 5 in favor of Steven. So just a quick reminder, we're sponsored by Spring. This is Spring Water, keeping our players hydrated. We also have a few other sponsors. So there we have our title sponsor, Spring. Also, we have Harry O.M. Enterprise for all your household supplies. You can visit Orange Street, downtown Kingston. PLC Pool Supplies, that's Peter for all your pool supplies, 283-1189. Rapid Cash, trading and pawn shop. We have H&M Couriers, you order it, H&M Courier, deliver it to you. Also we have Chalka's medals and trophies. They're the provider of the lovely trophy that will be distributed tonight, located here in Crossroads. Also we have Rack 'em Up. That's our current location on 10 Dominica Drive. Ambassador is located in Allegheny across from the U.S. Embassy. Sonia's Place down on 98 Swanson Park Road. And we also have Hot Shots, Sports Bar and Grill at Mayor Brown's Corner. And this is a PPJA endorsed event. So let's transition back to our main event where we have our capable referee racking the 15th rack. So we're on rack number 15 and Grizzle will be breaking rack number 15. So a very powerful break there by Sir Francis Grizzle, and fortunate for him, nothing went down and visibility of the one is not so clear. So Steven will now be attempting to just touch the one, which he didn't. So cue ball in hand will be awarded to Francis Grizzle. So this is by no means an easy rack. There's a cluster down table, which involves the 4 ball and the 6 ball. So I think Grizzle actually went for a two-way shot just now to clear that 4 and gain position on the 2. One objective was achieved. He has perfect position on the 2. I think he should now think about clearing the 6 and 4. So I think he is waiting for the perfect opportunity to do that. So now he's on to the 3. But the 4 is tied, so I'm not quite sure what his plan is. So let's see how he navigates himself through the rack. So with that miss, Steven is called to the table. And Steven is called to the table with enough angle to develop that 4 ball. So he did clear the 4, however, not quite what he would have expected because the cue ball looks to be frozen, or too close to the four comfort. So I think he opted for a safe to play there. But the cue ball slowed down on him, or he pushed out the four ball a little too much than he would have liked. So now Grizzle will be trying to seize this opportunity by running this rack. So, well, unfortunately for Grizzle, he missed the four. And Steven is given an opportunity at the four. From the angle where I'm sitting, it looks as if he may just be seeing enough of the four. So he was seeing just enough of the four, and he is now rewarded with perfect position on the five to go down table. I believe he should be seeking to put the six ball in the lower corner pocket. Brilliantly played by Stephen McKinley. So from here on out, I think it's really connecting the dots. He will be getting a little swing from this cue ball, so he may go one reel. And he fluked the six. I think Steven is definitely the recipient of a lot of good rolls here tonight. He's definitely the recipient of a lot of good rolls tonight. he almost scratched the cue ball just now, but the cue ball decided that it did not want to go down this strip. So Steven is now given an opportunity. so Sargos have conceded. Yes, so let me console myself. Steven is definitely the recipient of quite a few good rolls on that last rack there just now, to the point where Sir Francis Grizzle decided to just concede that game. Like, Steven is definitely one lucky fellow in that last rack. I think he should really think about purchasing a lotto right about now. So there's a saying that you can be lucky, but you cannot be consistently lucky. There's a saying that you can be lucky, but you cannot be consistently lucky, and I think Steven has definitely debunked that saying with his feet just now. So we are on to rack number 16. Steven will be Steven will be breaking rack number 16. This will be the break for the match and top prize in the final leg of the spring A class challenge. So we have our capable referee ensuring that the balls are tightly racked. So as I mentioned before, there's never a dull moment with Sir Francis Grizzle in the pool hall. Definitely one of the better persons to be around in the pool hall. So with that break, Steven finally being able to pocket a ball, and the 9 ball is structured in such a position that given his luck tonight, anything is possible. So let's see what Steven will do. I think he may choose not to go for the carom. Let's see what he will do, because there is an opportunity to play the carom. Given his extensive lead, he may just go for it and see what result he gets. So I think he's opting for a safety. So Steven is taking no chances here. He's pretty much showing almost if he's taunting his opponent, showing him a clear shot at the two, knowing that the three ball is all the way down table and it will take a tremendous amount of effort for him to come back down table to get the three ball. So as expected, GRIZZLE did pocket the two and he does have a visibility of the three. However, it's not necessarily a makeable shot, so I think he will be going for a safety, which he executes quite well. So there is still some fight left in GRIZZLE. He's showing that he's still here. And there's also a possibility of GRIZZLE clawing him way back into this game by winning 6 games straight. So Steven requested his jump cue. He will be jumping at this 3 ball. And I think if he makes this 3 in the side pocket, the cue ball will be going up table, coming down table for position on the 5. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily in a position that he would have hoped for, but he does have visibility of the 5, and I think there's an easy safety that he will be going for. So we have our capable referee bringing order to the game just now. So as expected, the safety play was made. However, I think he has shown GRIZZLE all of the 5 ball, and this should give GRIZZLE an opportunity to reduce the lead by 1 game. And I am not quite sure what GRIZZLE just did, but let's just say he did gain position on the 6, but he missed the 5. And Steven responded by missing the 5 as well. He went for a 1 bank. That 5 ball definitely does not want to go. It was played with a tremendous amount of force, went right in the pocket, and just decided not to go. So Steven will now be going for a game shot. I think it's an easy shot for Steven to gain position on the 8. A little bit too far for her, however, Steven is always one of those renowned shot makers at the distance. So Steven is the 8, and Francis GRIZZLE is called top table for an opportunity to claw himself one game closer. Steven gigantically. So one cross, position on the 9. So this should be 16 games favor of GRIZZLE. As I mentioned, it's not over until the 9 is pocketed illegally. GRIZZLE missed that ball just now, which is very uncharacteristic of him. took his opportunity. Steven seized his opportunity and sealed that game. He scored 11 games to 5. So it's 11 games to 5 in favor of Steven. So that was a very entertaining matchup there. Ready? Sir Grizzle, that was definitely an entertaining matchup by you and Steven. I know that the scoreline definitely does not necessarily tell the entire story. What was your feel coming into this match tonight? And what preparations did you put in place for this final?
Well, truth be told, I've not been playing as much pool as I should. But that's no excuse. I could have performed better. Steve was on top of his game. And the scoreline shows it. I made too many mistakes in the matches, so it was no reflection, as you said, of my true ability, but at the same time, it is what it is.
Steven got quite a few lucky rolls there. What impact did that have on you during your gameplay?
Mash up my confidence.
Well, it's the game of
It
9 ball.
it just felt like no matter what I did, the roads were just going his way. So, kind of felt like an uphill battle. That's the game of pool and that's the game of 9 ball.
Yeah, that's the game of pool, that's the game of 9 ball, and unfortunately or fortunately, that's the game we love, and we will continue to play. So, should I expect to see you in future challenges of
Not
this mix?
if 9 ball is included.
Okay.
I will not be playing any more challenges with 9 ball in it.
Okay, so we saw on your profile where 8 ball is definitely your favorite game.
And only game.
Okay, so all challenges, all future challenges, once it's 8 ball, you're definitely counted in.
I'm in.
Well, it was quite entertaining to watch you perform here tonight. It's a good final. Congratulations in making it to the finals. Unfortunately, you didn't win, but we look forward to seeing you in the future.
We'll
Future
stay right
challenges.
here, man. We're here. Definitely.
Thank you, Sir Grizzle. Steven. Steven, I know that since the beginning of this challenge, you were eager to win one of these challenges. And at the final leg, you finally made it. You finally won. How did you feel coming into this final? How confident were you that you were going to be the victor?
already had a lot on my mind, so I haven't been playing up to my original standard, but I still try to fight and try to mix up shots.
And earlier tonight, you got a few lucky rolls, as we like to call them. While I was doing the interview with your opponent, it said it definitely hurt his confidence on the table. How did that boost your game going forward for you to capitalize on those?
Well, them say the better you play, the luckier you get. So
Definitely a code from my friend Reyes.
exactly. The better you play, the luckier you get. So I guess it's just a reward for probably playing a good job.
So you've been very successful in recent times as it relates to being on the pool circle, the spring challenge. Unfortunately, this is the final leg. Should we look forward to seeing you in future challenges?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I really like the challenge. The fact that you have to go to a different bar and play on a different table, gives a different feel. On all grounds, So I really would play again.
Okay, so congratulations, Stephen, on your victory.
Yes,
Finally,
yeah,
you
man.
win one of the legs, the final leg. I think it's the best one to win because
It's the last.
it's the last.
Yeah, the last
So
one.
congratulations, and we
Yeah,
look
man.
forward to seeing you again.
Alright, bless up.
So there you have it, everyone. That's Stephen, the winner of the Spring Challenge. That's the final leg. Just a huge shout out to our title sponsor, Spring. Also a huge shout out to our other sponsors at Harry Oim Enterprise, PLC Pool Supplies, Chalka's Medals and Trophies, H&M Couriers, Rapid Cash. And I think that's about it. And also a huge shout out to our venues. That's Ambassador Sports Bar and Grill, Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill, Sonia's Place on Walton Park Road, and our current venue, Rackham Up Sports Bar, located here at 10 Dominica Drive, New Kingston. So there we have it. That's the final leg. We will now be having the presentation of the awards for the winner. All right, that's it.